Is up, Gridiron Nation? I got the whole family in the building today. I got me, I got my beautiful baby girl, and I got I got my queen, Cece, here. Okay, we'll see. Make sure you hit the foot pedal.
Hello. Hi.
There we go. Yeah. So I'm not sure how long Cece's gonna last. If she is going batshit crazy right now.
She says I'm on camera.
She's like, she does not know what to do under the bright lights. I say we put her in the car.
If she would just sit down, it would be better.
Sit. All right.
See.
Oh, she thinks we're like in play mode right now. No doubt.
See,
but
George, I have a thing to say.
What?
You told me to put the microphone for laptop one all the way down for me. I didn't hear the music.
Yeah, you didn't hear the music, but that was fun because it played for me.
But then how do I know when to go?
You're right. The music didn't play.
When I saw you do this, I said, okay, let me do that.
Okay.
That was it.
Anyways.
Football.
It's football. Back to the NFL, back to Gridiron. Can't believe I've hit 3,000 subscribers with how fucking gnarly this show is. It really is just clip-based. And for those of you that are invested into my life, you've actually gotten to see it kind of unfold this entire season. Like I thoroughly believe that by reporting right after these fucking games, I'm doing something for the algorithm. I'm helping out in some regard. And that's just the type of schedule that I got to be on. But we're going to go through all the games, starting with the morning games and then finishing with the game that we're watching currently. We're watching the Tennessee Titans and the Chiefs in a dogfight. There's 1:08 left, so I may bounce to that sooner rather than later. But let's start with the morning slate of games. There's a lot of morning games. My betting strategy this week was to go for team totals. Team totals for me seem a little more attainable. Like, honestly, whenever I'm going for the over-unders or the point spreads, I myself feel like I'm just relying on too many variables, right? Now, if I'm doing a team total, I'm relying on one variable, and that's just the team. And I would have won this one had I put money down in Tennessee. However, I took a player prop in this Tennessee game, but I'll get around to that later. Lots of team totals this week. And the teams that screwed me were the Raiders in the morning slate. We can start with them. The Raiders go out to an amazing start. Camryn, you're playing my dad in fantasy this week. He has Davante Adams. How many points did Davante Adams have in fantasy in the first half? It was ridiculous.
He had like 33 points. I don't know what he finished with. Your dad beat me, by the way.
No.
He did.
Camryn goes down to the worst player next to me in our league. That's a tough one. Tough pill to swallow. And you had an amazing week, too. It's not like you didn't score a lot of points. It was just, it's one of those weeks where Davante Adams goes off in the first half. And what I need to understand about these Raiders is, like, it seems like the Raiders are like a dog toy that makes a lot of noise. And, like, our fucking coach right now, McDaniels, he, like, doesn't like the squeaky toys. And then, like, so we're squeaky toy. We're looking super phenomenal in the first half. And then we just completely remove the squeaker from the squeaky toy in the second half. We take it, we throw it away. It's like we didn't like our flashy, fancy offense. And we just continued to do what the Raiders do week in and week out, which is prove to themselves that they can't finish games and that they don't have an identity. The Jaguars, they took advantage of a fucking shitty first half of the game. I myself, when I put in the team total and I picked the Raiders over 25.5, I was like, man, I didn't take into account the one thing that Uncle Kiki, if you haven't seen Uncle Kiki, he's been on a couple episodes. He always says, you really, really never should underestimate a team traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast like that. That's a tough time shift. And to play a football game, like, oftentimes teams don't get off to hot starts. The Raiders did in this case, and they just couldn't finish. But with that being said, we are going to take a quick little pause to put Cece in the car. Not for too long. Don't think we're bad parents. It's amazing weather outside. There's nobody here at the studio. I'm going to be right back. Camryn, do you want to tell them, like, kind of who is your best player in fantasy this week?
Oh, let's see. Oh, maybe I can pull it up. My fantasy. Well, I have Tyreek Hill. He did pretty good. Let's see what else I can pull it up. Josh Allen did all right for me. He's not doing what he used to though for me. It used to be a guaranteed win with him. He's still doing all right, but Austin Eckler, he did great. He got 24 points for me. He did good. He's my favorite. He had some cool plays today too. Real cool plays. I had B Cooks. Who's B Cooks? Brandon Cooks. He got me 0 points. If I didn't have him, I would have won. Okay,
So,
well.
who is your best player?
My best player?
Yeah.
Total best player? Well, in points. Oh, Tyreek Hill. 27 points. I didn't even get to him yet.
Oh, I have the Waddle Man. My
Great.
I also started Jeff Wilson too. So I guess that's the next game we can go into is the Dolphins. The Dolphins were moving and grooving today. Their offense was humming on all cylinders. Jalen Waddle, when he gets all the team to do the Waddle dance and everybody in the stadium's doing the Waddle dance, it's the coolest thing in sports right now. The Waddle dance is here to stay. It's way better than the gritty. But unless your last name is Waddle, you also can't do it. It's almost worth having Jalen Waddle on your team just to have that celebration. Oh, all right. This game's going to go into overtime, possibly. But with that being said, we covered the Dolphins. The Dolphins beat the Bears 35-32. Justin Fields, for the first time in his career, got a 61-yard touchdown rush. It was the longest touchdown run of his career. It was like Jalen Fields, like, finally, was able to understand that, man, all it takes is one player to miss. And if you're just a little more like risky, Lamar's very risky, Josh Allen's very risky. Quarterbacks that are willing to take that risk to make one person miss and then really turn on their burners, he doesn't do that enough. He's a rather conservative, safe quarterback, kind of similar to Kyler Murray in a sense, where they're so quick and elusive that, like, the name of the game is like, let's not get touched. And oftentimes Justin Fields has been going down early in the season, but the offense was flowing. It wasn't just that touchdown run. Justin Fields finally started to find his tight ends, and they run a lot of sets in which they use tight ends as blockers. If you watch a lot of their read option sets, or just any of their run sets, Cole Kmet is one of the best blocking tight ends in football, and he's a really underrated pass catcher too. And today he was able to do what a tight end's favorite thing is to do, a fucking delayed route. Gets to do a delayed route. If I cuss, you yell at me today. I'm trying to be better for the people. He ran a delayed route today that was just ran to perfection, held the block for a couple of seconds. Justin Fields on the little boot. Justin Fields also runs a naked bootleg better than any quarterback in the league right now. I will say that. If Robert Woods scores a touchdown here, Camryn and I, if Robert Woods scores a touchdown and Tennessee wins, Camryn and I will win $570. I'm stopping the podcast and we're just leaving. We're going to Cleaver. We're going to Cleaver, and I'm in the sweatpants. We have Cece in the car. Who cares? We're going. Next morning game that I wanted to cover, Chargers versus Falcons. The Chargers are one of the biggest disappointments this season. They are such a good team talent-wise. On paper, they should be demolishing teams, and yet they still are sputtering on offense. They obviously need to go to Austin Eckler more. They don't have Keenan Allen right now, which is hurting them bad. They got Everett, and Everett was dropping passes left and right today. The Chargers are a team that, man, if they get healthy in these next couple of weeks and they finish off the season above, like they finish off. Let's see. This is week 9, correct, Camryn? We missed the week 8 recap. Yes, we're on week 9. So we still have 8 weeks of football left. I will say if the Chargers go 6-2, I would like to take them in whoever their first round playoff matchup is, because it looks like that Kansas City Chiefs team will win that AFC West division. But the Falcons are a team where everyone buys into. Camryn, you picked the Falcons today +2, and they ruined it for you. I avoided this game because of the team totals, and also I just it was rather high for both teams. I think it was like they were expecting the Falcons to score
49.5.
Yeah, the Falcons were expected to score 23, and the Chargers were expected to score like 28 or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I just know that if you don't have that stud receiver, it's extremely hard to score those points in this league. Oh, that punt was almost blocked in this Tennessee game. Man, it's a good one. 12 seconds. Oh, boy. Mecole Hardman. Okay, there's 5 seconds left. There's nothing. This game's going in overtime. There's no way they're risking a Hail Mary pass either. So we will be the first podcast reporting on the Tennessee Titans versus the Kansas City Chiefs overtime finish. That's all I have to say about the Falcons and the Chargers. You have Austin Eckler on your team, Camryn. You are like so set. You have a lot of touchdown scores. Was there anything about that game though that you were like, man, I want this to be different?
If you scored more points, that would have been good.
There we go. That's the best answer.
5 more points because I lost by about 4 something.
Oh.
So just about 5 more points better. It would have been a great game.
They only put up 20 points, 20-17 on that final. It was
like, I think he got me 24. But yeah, good.
That's a great week, but I mean
30 though would have been the best.
You did need that. You did need that this week. Oh my goodness. Okay, the game that ruined my team totals parlay right off rip. The Packers versus the Lions. Final score, the Lions defeat the Packers 15-9 in a ugly, it was disgusting. It hadn't showered in weeks. This game reeked of bad football. It was just left and right. Both teams giving the ball back and forth to each other. They said, here, you take the ball. Here, Aaron Rodgers is in the red zone again. Let me throw another pick. Oh, hold on. I wanted to do that. No, on the second drive, not the first drive. But since I did it on the first drive, let me just do it on the second drive again. Throw another red zone pick. Once Aaron Rodgers and the Packers were on the goal line, it was a they had the 3rd and goal from the 1. They failed Aaron or what the fuck is his name? Dillon. AJ Dillon. They gave an AJ Dillon handoff right up the middle. After they had a miscommunication, the receiver runs a slant. Aaron Rodgers throws a fade. And it was like Aaron Rodgers throws a fade, misses. AJ Dillon can't get in the end zone, misses. Then they run a weak ass like play action bootleg in which the dude didn't really have a chance. And no. They run the trick play to David Bakhtiari. So like they used one of their linemen, right? They fake a run play to the other side, and then Aaron Rodgers was throwing it back across the field, which it was a horrible pass. If Aaron Rodgers actually throws that pass with a little more like touch, because it's a big ass lineman catching it. You don't want to fucking dart it to a lineman. You want to loft it in there. He throws it a little too soft. Aiden Hutchinson interception. After I saw that and I knew I needed the Packers to get 26.5 points, I was crushed. Because that was the only team, man. That was the only team. I knew that if I can rely on just 10 points to start, like whenever I'm taking these team totals from here on out, if I'm taking the over and it's anything above 25, I need 10 in the first half. Like I need 10 points. And when it didn't happen, I was crushed. Kansas City Chiefs win the toss headed into overtime. You're a huge Lions fan. You took the Lions, but you lost all your parlays today, didn't you? I mean,
one second.
did you win one?
No, I didn't actually take the Lions. I stayed away from that game because I was gonna choose the Lions +3, but then I was like, no, because they tend to lose a lot, and so I just stayed away from them. But I like watching them win. I was rooting for them. I was able to just cheer for them. I just stayed away from that game. But I lost everything else.
Yeah, I mean, same here, sister. All right, hey, we need a Robert Woods touchdown. I pushed on an overbet. Camryn and I like pooled together money before we went to the gym today. I was like, Camryn, all right, let's just do something crazy. All right, let's put a same game parlay in. We need the Tennessee Titans, Robert Woods to score a touchdown and the Titans to win. Or we need Derrick Henry to rush for 110 yards, which I still haven't checked. I'm pretty sure he has done it. But if that happens, Camryn and I, we are leaving this podcast. I promise you, we will not finish it. But anyways, the Packers are done. I can't believe that I had stated earlier, if you don't have an offensive threat, how can you expect to score points? And then I picked the Packers to go over 26.5 points. They have nobody. The Pack is lacking in the receiving core right now. And Alan Lazard's not it. Aaron Rodgers is frustrated, like big time frustrated. You can just see it on his face. I mean, any quarterback would be frustrated if you are in a second and goal situation and your receiver runs a slant and you throw a fade. I would lose it. Like those are basic things. Like how can you run the wrong play when you're 2 yards away from the end zone? This is the NFL. All right. The NFL stands for National Football League, but it also stands for not for long. If your ass runs slants when you're supposed to run a fade, all right, your ass will not be there for long. That being said, on to the next morning game. Everyone predicted this. I was listening to everybody, and I mean, Bill Belichick's record against rookie quarterbacks in Gillette Stadium, I'm pretty sure it's still called Gillette Stadium. They might have changed it. Let me see here. Let me see. Did they change the name of Gillette Stadium? No, it's still Gillette Stadium. They're changing the names of fucking all these stadiums. So please bear with me if I think I made a mistake. But anyways, Bill Belichick crushed Sam Ehlinger. He didn't allow any room for interpretation. He was bringing exotic pressures. He understands that as long as you fluster the young quarterback, you're at least guaranteed one turnover. And if you're plus in the turnover margin, you're probably going to win the game. But they did everything. They blocked the punt this game. They were operating at full efficiency. Let me see what Mac Jones finished with today. 20 for 30 for 147 yards and a tutter. Not like the best stats, but not the worst stats. I think Bailey Zappi would have went off. And I do think Bailey Zappi is the starting quarterback in New England in the future. I think if anything, they might do something what they did with Jimmy Garoppolo, is where they send Zappi somewhere for something really, really appealing. But on to the next morning game. Jets versus Bills. Did you pick anything in this game? Because the Bills were huge favorites. Bills were 9-point favorites.
I think so. I chose the over though. I just chose the over, which didn't hit. Did it? It was
I'll
like
tell you
42.
why it didn't hit. That Jets defense is for real. That Jets defense is for real. Like they don't mess around at all. They are, sauced up with Sauce Gardner. They also are exotic in delivering their pressures. Zach Wilson is not throwing interceptions. Hold on. I say that without checking to see if he actually threw an interception today. Zach Wilson did not throw an interception today, okay? Which yields wins for the Jets, okay? He's not the greatest quarterback, but like I said, as long as you are not turning the ball over, and what did Josh Allen do twice today? Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. Bad interceptions, too. Like Josh Allen, he's starting to force plays because he he thinks he has to do something more for the moment than it's needed. But the Jets defeat the Bills today, and the Jets, 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 they are for real, man. 6-2 with Zach Wilson, but it's not even the offense. This is a defensive team, and defense wins championships. Robert Salaw knew what he was doing when he was with the San Francisco 49ers, and he's transformed that same exact identity, that defensive identity that led the 49ers to a Super Bowl a couple of years ago when they played the Chiefs. He led that Jets defense through that same process. And now the Jets are probably favored to win the AFC East for the first time in my lifetime. Like it's been a very long time. No, they won it in 2010. There was a Mark Sanchez there, but it's very forgettable. It didn't last very long, and they didn't make any Super Bowls of it. And I think, are they a Super Bowl team? All right, I'm going to be very realistic here. Hell no. But I'm not saying that they're not built exactly like this Titans team was that got for the first seed overall last year, and they're defensive minded and focused. There's a reason why they held the Chiefs to 17 points tonight, and the Chiefs are used to scoring 31 points tonight. Defenses.
You mean the Bills?
Yeah.
You're talking about.
Yeah, I'm relating it to this, right? Like I'm relating the Jets defense stopping the Bills to the Tennessee Titans stopping the Chiefs. Okay. Like high-powered offenses can get stopped by teams that are really just built to make games gritty. Next game. Vikings versus Commanders. Oh, the Heineken Halloween. They're chanting Heineke in DC. They had a blackout. They had a blackout in DC, and Taylor Heineke made that game very, very interesting. He is a gamer. They need to start finding Terry McLaurin a little bit more in some more exotic type of ways. I've used exotic 3 times tonight. I got to use a different word. They need to use Terry McLaurin in situations where they're running tunnel screens. They're jetting him across the field. They're using his speed other than just taking it deep all the time. And I feel a lot of teams are struggling with that concept and that principle. You don't really see a lot of teams run a lot of under routes because of zones, but even when teams are manned up, we'd rather see a slant than a drag that has blockers in front of it, but neither here nor there. The Vikings are 7-1. The Purple People Eaters are like in firm grasp. There's nobody in that. They're going to beat the Packers again. They're going to beat the Lions again. They have won that division. Now they have the ability, honestly, in this later part of the season to start resting people up, getting to full strength. And can the Vikings make something of this phenomenal start? The Vikings have always been a team that has dropped the ball in the playoffs. And I mean, hey, football is one of those games where you don't get another chance. You have to be really, really good on that day. And if the Vikings fail to, produce at least an NFC championship and a Super Bowl berth out of this start, I think they'll start to look in other directions other than Kirk Cousins, in which they paid him an exorbitant amount of money. And that contract is coming to an end soon. It was within the next 2 years. So it's definitely in the back of their head. But the Vikings beat the Commanders 20-17. On to the afternoon slate. Camryn and I, we took a phenomenal nap this afternoon. We never take naps anymore, not like when I was teaching. But since we took naps during the afternoon games, I'll just tell you right now, while I was sleeping and I had the games on in the background, I was being like subliminally brainwashed by the people talking about how good Geno Smith and the Seahawks are. And I really underestimated the Seahawks at the beginning of the season, as did many. But I am going to also be extremely realistic with people here. The Seahawks are not going to win any playoff games. The Seahawks are going to be a phenomenal regular season team, but they don't have what it takes to do they don't have what it takes in a sense that, like, the Saints have extra wrinkles. They have superstars in which you feel like they can win games. There's not a single player on the Seahawks team. In DK Metcalf, you can tell me anybody on that Seahawks team, and I will tell you, nobody on that team is a game difference maker. Everybody's an amazing role player, but unless you have game difference makers, it doesn't matter. You need game difference makers. The Seahawks don't have that, but they still defeated the crappy Kyler Murray Cardinals. If I did have any notes on the Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler are not seeing like eye to eye right now, and it's really hurting that team. That team was humming at the beginning of that relationship when it was like a little, it was more new. They were in the honeymoon stage of like, oh, we're going to run this offense. Kyler, come over here. We're going to run this offense similar to the one you ran at, Oklahoma. I was at Texas Tech. We ran a cool offense. See Patrick Mahomes? We got to do a whole bunch of cool things. Kyler, come here. We can do this together. And then Kyler's like, yeah, bro, I'm down. I'm down for the count. Let me come over there. Let me explore this offense. Let me go to your multi-million-dollar mansion in Phoenix. Let me set up a Twitch live stream studio. Let me play some Call of Duty with you. And then, like, as time progressed, the offense sucked. Call of Duty, kept coming out with new updates. Cliff Kingsbury couldn't keep up. Like, Cliff Kingsbury learned how to play Call of Duty at the beginning of their relationship to, like, show that he had mutual interest. I care about you, Kyler. I also play COD. But then they updated Call of Duty. There's a new Call of Duty. Like, Cliff Kingsbury's an old soul, right? He may look like a new buttoned up guy, but Cliff Kingsbury is so old souled that he couldn't keep up with the times. He didn't buy the new DLC. He didn't update his Xbox. That upset Kyler. Like, it really did. Like, there was things in that relationship that they needed to start doing for each other. And they didn't do that. And now they're probably going to get rid of Cliff Kingsbury, and Kyler Murray will stay there and probably ruin another head coach's life because he won't also learn how to play Call of Duty. On to the Buccaneers versus the Rams. The Rams traveling all the way. Can we go to this angle for this one? Just for clips purposes. Thank you. Thank you, engineer. Appreciate you. The Buccaneers versus the Rams. The Buccaneers beat the Rams on a game-winning drive in which the Rams said, hey, I don't want to play football. Watch that last drive. If you don't watch anything from that game, don't watch any highlights other than the last drive of the game. Tom Brady, no timeouts, 1minute 8 seconds left, touchdown to win the game. Tom Brady is not, like, he did not do shit special. I run routes with Austin outside the studio sometimes, and we run the fucking same routes that the Buccaneers ran against the Rams. And let me tell you, with the way that the Rams defended it, it was like it was me and Austin playing, catch in the backyard. There was nobody in sight. Hey Siri, who is the Rams defensive coordinator?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia. Raheem Morris, born September 3rd, 1976.
Oh my God, Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris played in the league. Raheem Morris. What do I want to know about Raheem Morris? Raheem Morris. Pro Football History. Well, he's been coaching for a while. Did he play, though? I'm trying to see. Okay, this is boring anyways. Fuck it. They played so lackadaisical. Like, I don't get how Jalen Ramsey could be so up in your face. Let's get rowdy. Let's get loud. Let's play. Let's make stops. We're the Rams. We went to the Super Bowl last year. We won the Super Bowl. Let me go crazy. And then you're going to give an 11-yard cushion and let an out route up with 20 seconds left? I don't give a fuck what your coach says. You play the out route. You make an attempt on the ball. Like, dude, I'm gonna literally call Kiki after this, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, it's so rigged." Like, it feels that way. Like there was no defense until they were on the 6-yard line, and they had to play defense because there's no more field left. The Rams are so bad, and the Seahawks deserve to win that division. And I hope the Seahawks like really just focus in on being those regular season champs, because I cannot stand watching these Rams. I used to think that maybe they can strap something on with the names and the potential, but no. People have figured out how to defeat this weak ass team, and I think Raheem Mostert deserves at least a conversation to possibly be replaced. I've never seen a worse defense run at the end of that game, and it was asinine. On to the last game. We have done extremely well here. We are watching currently the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in overtime. I'm just going to talk through this game, and I'm going to give you my opinions as to what I've seen so far. Malik Willis is dropping back. Looks lost. He's going to take a sack. Nope. Yep. Malik Willis takes a sack. It's going to be like 3rd and 20 because Malik Willis didn't throw the ball away. The moment's a little too big for the kid right now. It's not his fault. Right? Like, they just a horrible route combination. They literally ran a play action, 3 verts. Like there was no in breaking routes. There's no drags like I was talking about, and it looked like they were manned up, bringing pressure. Oh my gosh! But what does George know, right? What does George know about? And they ran off a play action too. Like you gotta have a crosser.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's in his fanny pack?
What's in whose fanny pack?
Well, he had a quarterback. Well, it got knocked off, so I'm assuming he's not wearing it anymore. But he was wearing a fanny pack that got knocked off.
Malik Willis takes another sack on 3rd and 21. I'm not sure Malik Willis looked downfield at all that time. He literally dropped back, saw a defensive lineman, and just sprinted around. The moment's too big for the kid. Mike Vrabel does not know what to do. It's going to be 4th and 26. If Robert Woods somehow scores a touchdown here, like I said, Camryn and I will end the show. It's not over. You're correct. But all right, bear with me, people. Man. Yeah, that was just okay. I'm looking at the route combinations, and it's like, yeah, if he would have, there's a thing like you can roll out, but you can't roll out and then expect to come back the other way and think that you have something. Like now it's 4th and 26. They're still bringing 4. They're gonna sack him again. Like he almost threw a pick, but the game's over. Kansas City defeats Tennessee, not by 14, what people thought. I thought that was a little bit outrageous. Like, that's like saying fuck you to Mike Vrabel and what he does for the guys to get them ready. But the Titans are now 5 and 3. The Chiefs move to 6 and 2. They kind of take a strong hold of that AFC. Yeah, they take a stronghold of the AFC while the Vikings take the stronghold of the NFC. Hot takes from the weekend. College football is amazing. Shout out to LSU beating Alabama. taking down the top dog. No 2-loss team has ever made it to the college football playoff, but will Alabama get any exception? That's going to be the question. I don't think so. I think Michigan wins out the rest of the year.
No 2-loss team has made it to the
College football playoff.
Really?
Correct, because there's only 4 teams. So in a sport where there's 200 plus teams, there's bound to be 4 teams that are undefeated. You know.
Wow. So even if you're undefeated, but like you played easier teams than, let's say, Alabama, you're going to the playoff.
No. So there was a team called University of Central Florida a couple of years ago that bought themselves like national championship trophies and rings, and they did the whole, we won the natty. Like, they won their bowl game. I'll give them that. Like, they were one of those teams that went undefeated, and they were like, put us in the playoff, bitch. Like, we did what you said. Like they said, go undefeated. We went undefeated. Put us in the playoff, motherfucker. And they didn't. How bullshit is that? But that's why they're going to extend that. They're going to make the playoff bigger so that they have like these little Cinderella stories. Because I'll tell you one thing. Central Florida lines up against a prime Clemson team, which they would have. That spread is 27 points. Like, and I'm not even kidding. Like, you're getting a Clemson team that's been resting from. Okay, I'm not even going to go into that. That's why. They obviously respect it. They understand how good Alabama is. They lose in overtime when, look at the nutsack on LSU's coach. Oh, he used to coach at Notre Dame. Oh my gosh. I'm forgetting his name. Okay. But anyways, people, this has been just a recap episode of what my thoughts were from week 9. Camryn's thoughts too, filling in. Brian Kelly, there we go. I knew it was Brian. I'm stuck on like Brian Daboll, the Giants. I will be doing a live stream Monday at 4 p.m. covering the Monday Night Football game that's going to be going on. I'm going to be giving you guys the last minute injury reports, betting lines that you guys should be aware of, what I'm taking, what Camryn's possibly taken. And it's a quick live stream, so it's not a Thad's Thoughts. Those are saved for Thursdays. Maybe it's like Mondays with Maury, and I dress up super casual and I talk like very political about football. Who knows? But this is whatever I make it. Follow Gridiron Junkeez on all platforms. If you like me and what I have to say, follow me at Mr. George Carmona on Instagram and TikTok. I made my first tweet in like a while. A couple of nights ago. That's at Captain George. I'm gonna try to tweet more. Maybe. Cam, where can they find you?
Oh, let's see. Instagram, Camryn Lee 97. Twitter at Cammy_Lee. Facebook, first and last name. What other platforms? Camryn. No, TikTok is Cammy Lee.
Shout out to OnlyFans. That's what they really care about.
Follow me on my other platforms to find that one. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, people, it's been a pleasure. I got to go back to Cece. We got to go get some food and we got to get out of here. It's been fun reporting from you. Camryn, you're going to hit the one on Farrago. You're going to fade into Gridiron Junkeez logo. Click the song, click play, and then we'll fade into my logo and we'll get out of here. Gridiron Junkeez. It's growing, people. It's growing faster than you think because we put in the time. Later.